español. Bienvenido aquí, yo quiero que vayas tú, yo quiero que vengas hoy. Bienvenido aquí, bienvenido aquí, yo quiero que vayas tú, yo quiero que vengas hoy. Bienvenido aquí, a este lugar de amor, de sueños, de ilusión, a este lugar de amor. Bienvenido aquí, sí, a este lugar de amor, de sueños, de ilusión, a este lugar de amor. Bienvenido aquí. Good morning. Welcome to Chalice Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We are a community of diverse beliefs and experiences, nurturing the liberal religious spirit and united by our desire to grow in love and in service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your life's journey, you are welcome here. Whether you gather with us every Sunday, once or twice a year, or are with us this morning for the very first time, we are glad you are here. I'm Wendy Metzger, the worship associate today. Our service is led by our minister, Reverend Sharon Wylie. Our worship musician this morning is Tim McKnight, and our song leader is Laura Brown. The tech team is Jake Diock, Hope Campbell, and Dean Godet, and our audio engineer this morning is Jake Diock. Our greeters are Ron Petzold and Donna Folberg. Welcome to our Sunday worship service. Welcome to those of you here in the chapel, and welcome to those of you watching live on Zoom. For those of us in the chapel, if you are sitting in a row that is not full, please consider moving toward the walls so we leave room along the aisle for congregants who may be arriving in the next several minutes. We don't want it to be hard to find seats in our chapel. Also, as a reminder, please feel free to wear masks or step outside as needed for your comfort. You can hear what is happening inside while you are outside on the courtyard. We are always delighted to see newcomers joining us in worship. As a newcomer, you might be interested in the groups and activities we offer, which can be found in our email, newsletter, and calendar. Online newcomers will receive an email invitation to join our email list after the service. In-person newcomers, if you haven't already given us your email address when you signed in, please consider sharing it with us before you leave. Our weekly email is the best way to get information about the many groups and activities we offer here at Chalice. Now, let us take a breath together. We acknowledge Indigenous peoples with these words from Robin Wall Kimmerer, a citizen of the Potawatomi Nation and the author of Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. Paying attention is a form of reciprocity with the living world, receiving the gifts with open eyes and open heart. Now we light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. I'd like to invite Ryder and Kate to light our chalice this morning. Our chalice lighting words come from Paul Stephen Dodenhoff. For this 1 hour, Spirit of Life, we let go. For this 1 hour, may we go out. May we let go of our anxieties, our fears, our anger, our self-doubts, our regrets, our petty grievances, and our distractions. If only for this 1 hour, let the flame of this chalice burn them from our hearts and minds and light our way to peace and serenity for this one holy hour.
The words of our call to worship come from Unitarian Universalist Elena Westbrook. In a world ravaged by violence, by hatred, by conflicts that seem eternal and insoluble, sometimes the only thing we can do is be still for a moment to remind ourselves what is real. The sun that rose this morning, the ground under our feet, the air whispering in and out of our lungs. This hour, try just to be present in each moment as it unfolds. Your simple attention is what makes these moments holy. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
In body or spirit to sing our hymn of the month, Do Not Be Daunted, from our virtual hymnal. We are singing this song every Sunday in September so we can become more familiar with it. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. You need not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. You need not complete the work, but you must not abandon it. Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Do justly now, love mercy now, go humbly now. Please be seated.
Our Sunday worship is the shared spiritual practice of our community, and we tend to the congregation during this time by sharing and honoring our joys and sorrows. Here in the chapel, you are welcome to write your joy or sorrow onto a candle card, which will be collected from you. Online, please write your joy or sorrow, including your name, into the chat box. These joys and sorrows will be spoken out loud, and then we will remove this part of the service from the recording that goes onto our YouTube channel, so this sharing won't be publicly available online. If you would like to send Reverend Sharon a confidential note about your joy or sorrow, or to make a prayer request, please email her. Her email address will be on screen in a moment. Please enjoy some music while you write down what you would like to share, so that in the sharing, your burden is lessened and your joy is multiplied.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
We'll light our final pillar candle for all the joys and sorrows in the room and in our community that may go unshared and unspoken this morning. These two are held in the love and support of our community. Now I'd like to invite the children and anyone else who would like to come up front for the story. I Am Peace, a Book of Mindfulness, written by Susan Verde and illustrated by Peter Reynolds. There are times when I worry about what might happen next and what happened before. The thoughts in my head are like rushing water, and I feel like a boat with no anchor, being carried away. I give myself a moment. I take a breath, and then I tell myself it's all right. I feel the ground beneath my feet and steady myself, and start to notice the here and the now. My thoughts begin to settle. My mind begins to clear. I am peace. I can watch my worries gently pop up and disappear. I let things go. I can say what I feel inside out loud. I know myself. I can share my kindness with others. I make a difference. I can hug a tree and thank it for its beauty and strength. I connect to nature. I can watch the clouds make shapes against the sky. I know wonder. I can taste and smell and touch and hear and see what is all around me. I use my senses. I can feel my breath fill my whole body. I tune into me. Now the water is still. I have found my anchor, and everything is all right. I don't need to worry about before or after. I am in this moment. I am peace. Now I share my peace with others. And I hope that it is carried away to those who need it. And I dream we are peace.
Join in singing. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go.
Our reading is from the contemporary comedy writer and American poet Lindsay Rush. How to Be a Person in the World, adapted. Let the sorrow of it all sink deep into your bones, but don't forget to finish the laundry and water the lawn and dry your eyes. Dream up a 5-year plan for your small business while picturing your baby doing a lockdown drill in his kindergarten classroom. Discover new music and laugh at new jokes, and let creativity drip from each of your fingertips. But be mindful that you have neighbors who are starving and dying and fighting for the most basic of freedoms. Look up how much protein you should be eating and also what to do if you're in public with an active shooter. Get your moles checked, get your head checked, get a mammogram and a grip, and the new thriller book everyone's talking about on TikTok. But please, dear God, don't forget the oceans, the ozone layer, the rhinos, the emails, the dogs and cats that need forever homes. Try to grapple with the fact that your parents are starting to get old. But also with the future of AI and the pending recession and the billionaires and the depth of division between you and so many people you love. It's undeniable that everyone, everywhere, is on the brink of losing their humanity and their empathy. But to be a person in the world is to do the impossible every day, simply by keeping your eyes open, simply by getting out of bed, simply by facing these incomprehensible horrors again and again without somehow abandoning your joy.
The poem's title is How to Be a Person in the World. And isn't that just the spiritual struggle of our times? How do we live? What do we do day in and day out while democracy is under attack? How do we go about our daily lives while staying engaged with the world without becoming numb or overwhelmed by it? It is no easy or simple task. But it is perhaps not as new a task as it might feel. The author E.B. White famously commented in an interview in 1969, "I arise in the morning torn between a desire to improve the world and a desire to enjoy the world. That makes it hard to plan the day." Amen to that, brother. That tension feels just as real today, maybe even more so. So again, we ask how to be a person in the world. I've been thinking a lot about how troubled the world seems right now and wondering how we got here. Like many people, I'm curious about how the internet and social media might be involved. With everything we read or watch being made into shorter and shorter quotes and sound bites, it is easy to imagine that being online so much has made us impatient with ideas that are complex and problems that are not easily solved. I worry we are losing the skills we need to solve complicated challenges. I have heard from so many of you and experienced myself how hard it feels to concentrate, just going about our lives. A recent survey conducted by Ohio State University found that 3 in 4 adults, 75%, report difficulty concentrating, primarily due to stress, poor sleep, and digital distractions. One researcher reports that people's attention spans while looking at screens averaged 2.5 minutes back in 2004. And by 2016, just over a decade later, attention span looking at screens had fallen to an average of 47 seconds. I'm sure it's even less now. So, how to be a person in the world. Today we kick off a 10-sermon series called Wrestling with Digital Distraction. One sermon on this topic each month, now through June. This is what we call our spirit study topic for the year, a topic worth our time and, now more than ever, our attention. Most other years, our spirit study topic has aligned with a book. One book you could read along with the sermons if you chose to. This year is very different. The topic of our shortened attention spans is very trendy just now, and there's much to read and listen to about this. I have read 6 books preparing for this topic this year. Does that sound impressive? Like, I feel like it is. All right, thank you. Thank you. But the outcome is that I can tell you not all books and other materials are worth your time. There is a downside to a topic being trendy and popular. There is much information available that is really misinformation or pseudoscience. I think a lot of non-scientific ideas come from so-called public scientists on YouTube who are willing to promote unproven scientific ideas to keep their audience engaged and their likes and views up. One of the dangers of our time is that content producers need to keep producing content. They keep finding more and more things to tell us that are less and less proven. The first book I read that looked just perfect for this series, and I thought maybe it would be the only one we'd need, was called The Neuroscience of Focus, and claimed to have science-backed techniques and exercises to train your concentration, increase your productivity and attention span, and to work in a deep flow state. Sounds awesome. It was very informative with lots of tips and activities and things to do. And then when I was done reading it and wanted to learn more about the author, I realized it was self-published. No editor, no publisher, no academic credentials, and not even any information about the author, who, no offense to him, I think might just be some guy with a lot of opinions and a decent-looking website. I realized I had just read 120 pages of, let's call it well-intentioned enthusiasm. So I offer you this story to caution you as you may begin your own learning on this topic. So one of the things I can offer you is my recommendation of the top book that I think is worth your time if you're interested, and plus 2 more if you're really interested. And I'm not going to dig into these now, but you can find them on our Chalice website. They're already posted in a PDF on the Spirit Study page. So again, this is not something we've ever utilized a lot before, but there's a few resources already on that page related to this morning, and that book list is one of them. So today I want to give you a few ideas about attention span to help us build a shared language for talking about it together, to helping raise your awareness of what you do already. Researcher Amishi Jha describes attention as working in a few different modes, like a floodlight, a flashlight, and a juggler. Think of floodlight attention as scanning the whole horizon wide and open. We're able to see 220 degrees as we look forward. We can notice things out of the corner of our eyes, take in movement, and stay alert to what's around us. It's a great survival skill. Then there's flashlight attention, when we zero in on just one thing. Our focus becomes narrow and intense, so much so that we might miss something else happening around us. That's how powerful our attention can be when we're locked in. And then finally, there's the juggler, when we switch from one task to another. Now, you've probably heard that multitasking, although we might use that term, isn't really a thing. We can't focus on two things at the same time, but we can switch rapidly back and forth. Research tells us that task switching is tiring and inefficient, but it is something that our brains do all the time, and we often do very organically. So those are three ways of thinking about our attention: floodlight, flashlight, and juggler. Two more terms to know. You have heard of daydreaming. Daydreaming is what we do when we don't have anything we particularly need to focus on. Our attention goes to imagining and dreaming for ourselves. It can be refreshing and restorative, kind of like mental play. But a term you might be less familiar with, or less familiar with the technical definition of it, is mind wandering. Mind wandering is what happens when we do have something we're trying to focus on, but our attention does what it does. It wanders off. Mind wandering is completely and totally normal. We do it all the time. Research has found that your mind wanders fully half of the time. That means your attention is where you direct it to half of the time. Here in the worship hour, you are taking in half of what is happening. Don't worry, that is not news to me. I was taught as a preacher that the things I say up here, ideas I share, images I offer, will prompt your mind to go off in other directions. It will spark in you. It will make you think of other things. You go off with your own thoughts. And there are little things I do to try and help you come back. Like, are you with me? Okay, so those are all those terms: flashlight, floodlight, juggler, daydreaming, mind wandering. Probably a lot of what is mind wandering we might have previously thought of as daydreaming. So I'm inviting you to be aware of those differences. So the next idea to understand is about how we use our cognitive resources, which includes our attention, throughout the day, and how the different things we do drain our attention or help it hold steady. So we start each day with a certain amount of cognitive resources, like a mental bank account. This is based on well-regarded psychological theory. We can't measure cognitive resources precisely, but many of us can recognize these patterns in our own lives. So I'm suddenly using the term cognitive resources because it includes attention but isn't exclusively about attention. Cognitive resources includes our memory, our language skills, reasoning and problem solving, things like that. And they're limited. When they run low, we get distracted, overwhelmed, and mentally exhausted. So everything we do has some impact on our cognitive resources. Everything drains, conserves, or restores those resources. So in that spirit, you don't have to try and remember everything I'm about to say. I have this information available for you online, this list of things. So you'll be able to look that up. And if you think about it, you will actually already know everything I'm about to tell you through your own life, even if you've never thought about it this concretely before. So what drains our cognitive resources? Making decisions, solving problems, learning new things, generative work where we're creating things, multitasking, task switching, and regulating our negative emotions. Think about how you feel when you read the news. If you're having negative emotions, that's a drain on your cognitive resources. What conserves our cognitive resources? Habits, routines, structure, low stakes work, familiar work, single tasking with no interruptions, well-practiced skills, and what I call spirit-led work, When we're aligned with our purpose or calling, spirit-led work feels less draining, even if it is demanding and uses some of those other skills. And then what restores our cognitive resources? Taking breaks, eating, staying hydrated, light exercise like going for a walk, light social connection, nature exposure, positive emotions, and getting good sleep. And research shows this is true. Our cognitive resources are restored by mindfulness practice, meditation. Not yet, but we are going to be talking about mindfulness practice quite a bit in this series. So I hope this information is immediately helpful to you if you have been feeling overwhelmed. When you're dealing with stress, negative emotions, or even just trying to learn something new, your cognitive bank account is getting drained. So we need to be intentional about adding things into our day that can serve and restore what we've spent. That might mean sticking to familiar routines, pausing for food and water, taking a walk, making time for a little nap. And I think we also need to pay attention to how we're thinking and feeling as evening comes. By then, our cognitive resources are often depleted. And that's when many of us become prone to poor decisions. This is when we spend too long scrolling on social media. This is when we engage in too many numbing behaviors, binge watching television, drinking too much, and then perhaps topping it all off by going to bed much too late. Understanding how our mental bank account works explains a lot about why so many of us fall apart a little bit after the sun goes down. And be aware that getting off of your device takes cognitive resources. It takes effort. So if you've ever had times where you feel like, I need to go to bed or I need to get off this thing, but it's hard, it's because your cognitive resources are depleted, and it takes cognitive resources to pull yourself off of there. It's so compelling and engaging. So here's my invitation. Between now and our next sermon in this series, which is just in 2 weeks on October 5th, I invite you to simply observe your own life. Notice how your energy rises and falls. Notice what happens to your attention and when. Notice what drains you, what helps you recover, and what happens at the end of your day. That's the first step in learning to live with greater attention and care. I've titled this series Wrestling with Digital Distraction, but it could just have easily been called Intentional Living. There is so much that calls us away from who we aspire to be, how we hope to live in alignment with our values, and how much time we spend on what's important to us. And let me also be clear, it is okay to intentionally choose to be distracted at times, to lose ourselves in a great television show, a funny book, or even just cat videos. We need our times of rest and leisure. But it turns out rest and leisure are things we need to be intentional about as well. That's what we'll talk about next time. Until then, may you pay attention to how you spend your days, not with judgment, but with curiosity. And may that awareness gently draw you back to the life you really want to live. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
I invite you to remain seated as we learn a new hymn this morning, a new hymn from our virtual hymnal, Be Still and Breathe. So we're going to practice it first. There are 5 verses. We're going to sing the first verse over together maybe 4 times. We'll sing it together 4 times. And then we'll stop and we'll start from the beginning, singing all 5 verses. As you hear this, it will probably sound familiar to you because Reverend Sharon used this music as part of the story this morning. So, be still and breathe, be still and be. Listen to heartache, listen to grief, be still and breathe. Join in. Be still and be. Listen to heartache, listen to grief. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to heartache, listen to grief. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to heartache, listen to grief. That was 4 times. Okay, now we're going to start. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to heartache, listen to grief. Be still and be. Be still and be. Listen to gladness, listen to joy. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to anger, listen to hurt. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to beauty, listen to grace. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Listen to you, listen to me. Be still and breathe. Be still and be. Be still and breathe. Be still and be.
The Sunday offering is an expression of the generosity that makes our congregational life possible. As Buddhist teacher Pema Chodron writes, generosity is an activity that loosens us up by offering whatever we can, $1, a flower, a word of encouragement. We are training in letting go. We encourage you to text your donation to Chalice. If you haven't texted a donation before, once you text the amount, you'll get a reply with a link to enter your card information. If your Sunday donation is meant to be part of your pledge payment, please be sure to indicate pledge after the dollar amount. The phone number for text donations will be on screen in a moment. If you prefer to make an in-person donation of cash or check, there are envelopes and a donation box to the left of the chapel double doors. You can leave those donations after the service. Please give generously. Please join in dedicating our offering with words of affirmation. At Chalice UU congregation, our mission is to inspire individual and communal spiritual growth.
The words of our prayer come from Unitarian Universalist Melissa Jeter. Will you join me? We are grateful to be in the presence of one another. We are grateful for the affirmation that being together in this community brings. Let us have hearts open with humility. Let us find our way mindful that there is an abundance from which we can draw water, the peace of all peace that comes not without struggle or wrestling with the ways of scarcity and individualism in the world. Let us find ways to disrupt injustice. Let us find ways to accept one another while preserving our hearts. Let us go beyond thinking and suspend all judgment. May we be changed by and held in love. May we recognize and receive grace, for none of us alone has the answer. So be it. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn number 1020 in the teal hymnal, Wo-ya-ya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh-ya-ya, 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 oh-ya-ya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Oh-ya-ya, 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 oh-ya-ya-ya-ya, 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 oh-ya-ya-ya-ya. Please be seated.
Our closing words come from the Reverend Tet Gallardo. May we respond better to risks and dangers with a beloved community who can be counted on as a woven basket that encompasses the gifts for protection, for honor, for ceremony, and for expressions of interconnectedness. May we prevail in our intentions to make a gift of the world to the next generations of beings living and non-living that help it all come together for good. Love and blessings to each of you. You are invited to close our time together by singing the well. After our closing hymn, please return to your seats for a few announcements.
We drink from the well together, cool, cool water that quenches my thirst, a thirst for justice, a thirst for joy, a thirst for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well. We drink from the well together. Hand in hand we are standing as one, standing for justice, standing for joy, stand for a love that we're all a part of. We drink from the well. us well. We drink from the
First. Coordinating team has bought some new table and chairs for the courtyard, but they do need to be assembled, which is maybe why they were on sale. And the person who would normally just sort of take charge of this and get it done for us is Tom Karlstrom, who is in our thoughts again this morning. So I'm hoping that someone here or some group of people might like to take charge of this project. It probably requires at least a screwdriver, which I'm not sure we even have here on campus. So if we can't get it done while we're here, I'm hoping someone else will take charge to get it done sometime. Blessings on all of you. Thanks in advance.
Soprano Maria Pia Duffy-Foltz and Tig McKnight as they present a concert entitled Exploring the Power and Resilience of the Human Spirit Through Music, taking place this Saturday, September 27th, 2025 at 3 p.m. here in the chapel. The poet Franz von Schober wrote, "You, lovely art, in many gloomy hours, when life's fierce orbit entangled me, have you kindled my heart to warmer love? Have you carried me to a better world?" Music can help us to process our emotions, express our hopes and dreams, tell our most personal stories, and remember the important events in our lives. Maria Pia has experienced the power of music in her life, a life which has been filled with great joy and profound tragedy. Join Maria Pia as she sings arias, art songs, spirituals, and musical theater selections that have been meaningful in her life. Accompanied by Tim McKnight at the piano, Maria Pia and Tim will explore how music expresses the many facets of the human spirit, from our deepest sorrow to our resilience and hope, to our greatest joys. A donation of $20 per person is requested for this one-of-a-kind concert. If you purchased tickets at last year's auction, you're all set. You can also buy tickets at the door on September 27th or reserve seats in advance by emailing music@chaliceuucongregation.org. Thanks.
So if you feel frustrated with the state of the world, being in community is an act of resistance. So let's get together and have some cake and talk. So the first cake talk is coming up Saturday. It's Saturday, not Sunday. Saturday, October 4th at 10:30. And why are we doing this? Well, one, because we want to resist, and nothing feels better than resisting, let me tell you. So we're going to talk about our guideposts, but we're also going to talk about future cake talks and why we're doing this, because we want it to be relevant. And some of the things we've got kind of on the docket are talking about, artificial intelligence and the impact on people, scams, but we also can talk about local Escondido politics, and maybe we can bring in some of our local representatives, because they're surprisingly accessible. And I met a couple totally by accident, and it was very uplifting, because they're really on the same page that we are. We just need to make sure they get elected. So you can register either by going to the URL, or if you donate by text, we're asking for a $5 donation. You get to vote on the cake if you go register. These are not these are not, Vaughn's cakes. These are going to be good cakes. It's so just throwing that out there, because I know priorities, There will be coffee as well as cake. So, so the other way you can do it is just text 5 cake talk to the same number that you use for the donations or your pledge or during the service, during the offering. No space in Cake Talk, all one word. So it's a $5 optional donation, but we would like people to register just so we know if I'm going to get more cake. So, because there's a minimum cake size, and if we need more, we'll get more. All right, thanks, everybody. And there's one more.
I have a secret. It's coming in a few weeks. The Chalice Wicked Auction.
Woo! And to make it a smashing success, we need your donations.
The auction website, charityauction.bid/chaliceu, is open for donations until October 17th, and you can use the QR code on the screen as well.
We've already seen some wonderful dinners, parties, and treasures generously donated, and we hope to see more coming to help reach our $35,000 goal. Keep those creative ideas coming, and please let the auction team know if you have questions about available dates or anything else.
You can also click the frequently asked questions link at the top of the auction website if you need a little extra help.
The online auction will be open for bidding from October 19th at noon until 5 p.m. Sunday, October 26th.
And a special one-night live auction will be held Saturday, October 25th. You can attend in person or by Zoom.
Most dinners will only be available to bid on only during the live auction Saturday, October 25th. Live auction items are in the catalog at the auction website. You will see live auction only in the description for those items. All other items are available for bidding online only.
The live auction will be a party in itself. Besides bidding on dinners and other events, you are encouraged to come in costume. Your costume can be Wicked themed or any theme of your choice. Starting at 5 p.m., there will be food, drink, and socializing in the courtyard. We ask you to bring finger foods to share. There will be childcare starting at 5 p.m. as well. You can also bring any online auction donations you wish to show off and put them in the designated room in the hub for the evening. The live auction bidding and shenanigans begins at 6 p.m. with entertaining auctioneers, wicked music breaks, and fabulous prizes. The evening will end around 8 p.m.
We could use some help at the live auction, especially with setup and cleanup. So let a member of the auction team know if you are interested.
Popular, it's gonna be popular. Our auction night is sure to excite a wonderful spending spree. So bring on your donations for wicked fun community. La, 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 la. It'll be popular, so won't you come and see?